There's a lot of crazy heist scenes with cars in this movie. So this movie starts where the last movie ended. Brian and Mia and the other guys get Dom out of the prison bus since he was going to be sent to jail unfairly. The team is back together now. Let's see, now that Dom is free and the gang is back together again, are they gonna run away somewhere and lay low for a while? Nah, they're gonna do another super dangerous heist like immediately. Brian and Mia join that guy Vince from the first movie to steal some cars from a train, but it turns out the DEA has agents on the train. Whoops. There's a mix-up and some shady communication about what the plan actually is, so Dom improvises and has Mia steal this one cool car, and then Dom and Brian fight this shady guy ZZ and his dudes. ZZ kills the DEA guys, and Dom and Brian get captured. Uh-oh. Dom and Brian get brought to this bad guy named Reyes, who's a drug lord. That Reyes guy really wants the one car that Mia got, but Dom and Brian escape, so it's fine. Actually, it's not fine though, since Dom, Brian, and Mia get framed as the people who killed the DEA guys, so the government sends a team of soldiers to arrest them. There are two people leading this group. One is a lady named Elena, who is a normal-sized person. The other is this really huge bald guy named Luke Hobbs, who is sweating all the time. This Hobbs guy is a big baldy and Dom is a big baldy, but when you have them stand next to each other, Hobbs is a bigger baldy than Dom. I've got a feeling that these baldy meathead guys are going to have a clash of egos. Maybe they're going to have a contest for who can drink the biggest protein shake. Dom, Brian, and Mia check out the car since they're like, what is up with this car? Why is it so important? Don't people usually want to steal more than one car in these types of situations? But then Vince shows up and the others catch him taking some kind of chip out of the car and Dom gets all mad. He's like, hey Vince, what the heck, dude? You put us in danger and had some kind of sneaky side plan. Like, you gotta tell us everything. Brian finds out that apparently the chip has details of all the illegal stuff that Reyes guy does and he makes a lot of money. Apparently there's $100 million in cash. That's a lot of money. I'm SirDinosaur from Planet X, and I'm a really big reptile, so I eat a lot of food, but $100 million could cover my food budget for my whole life, plus a lot more. Then all the antagonist people show up at the same time. The Reyes bad guys are looking for the chip, then Hobbs and his soldiers are looking for Dom and the gang. Oh, by the way, the gang has been hiding out in Rio, and they get away because of a big chase through these crowded neighborhoods. Afterwards, the gang is worried that they've got two groups of people with guns trying to catch them, so maybe they should just split up and get out of Dodge. But then Mia reveals that she's pregnant because of Brian, so those two gotta stick together at the very least. Of course, Dom agrees they all gotta find a way out of this situation since Mia is his sister and siblings gotta help each other out. They decide they'll steal that $100 million in cash from Reyes and use it to start over, so they gotta put a big team together. Then this movie becomes awesome because it's a heist movie now. The other movies were more crime thrillers, but Fast 5 is a heist movie, and heist movies are fun, especially since this one is different than the other heist movies because it's all about cars. They get a lot of the fun characters from the before movies like Han from Tokyo Drift, who hasn't been to Tokyo yet, Roman and Tej from Too Fast, Too Furious, Giselle from the last movie, and those other two guys from the last movie who helped get Dom out of the prison bus while talking in Spanish really fast. This is really cool because it brings all the other before movies together and it feels like Fast and the Furious Avengers or something. Dom and the gang need all the money to be in one spot, so they attack one of the places where the money's at and they burn it in front of Reyes' guys. Reyes gets spooked and he puts it somewhere that should be impossible for Dom and the gang to get to, a big vault inside a police station. They gotta do a lot of sneaking around to get the stuff they need to get inside, and there's this one goofy part where Giselle and Han are hanging out and she seduces the bad guy, and I guess she and Han are vibing because he looked impressed. Oh, and by the way, Hobbs and his soldiers are looking for Dom and the gang the whole time. One of the things that Dom and the gang have to do is get cars that are so fast they can't be detected by security cameras. This always seemed like a goofy plan for a lot of reasons, but they try over and over and they can't figure it out. So they just steal a couple of cop cars. That makes a lot more sense for this kind of situation. Not that I would endorse that kind of behavior, to be clear. Stealing is bad. It's fun in a heist movie though. Things are going pretty okay, but Hobbs finds Dom and the gang and arrests them. He's gonna put them all on a plane to go back to America and go to jail, but they all get attacked by Reyes' guys. Most of the gang get out of there, along with Hobbs and Elena, but Vince dies along with most of Hobbs' guys. Hobbs and Elena are really mad at Reyes' guys, so they decide to team up with Dom and the gang to help with the heist. Then the movie gets really funny when they pull off this goofy heist. Dom and the gang break into the police station and hook up their cars to the vault with cables and drag the vault out of the police station, and they're just dragging a big metal vault down the road. It's the loudest, most obvious heist ever. Aren't these things supposed to be sneaky? Well, this is the opposite of sneaky. This is fast cars and blam blam and a giant metal vault being driven down the street in broad daylight, and the gang using their cables to swing the vault around and bash it into cop cars and stuff. This is awesome and really silly. So they kill the ZZ guy and Hobbs kills the Reyes guy. Then Hobbs says, okay, Dom and the gang can get a 24-hour head start as long as they leave the vault where it is, so Hobbs and Elena and people can deal with the money in like a legal government way or whatever. But it turns out the vault is empty since some of Dom's crew switched the money out while the chase was going on. So the team destroyed like half of Rio in this vault chase with the cops, but they still get out of there and get like $100 million. This is just ridiculous, but I guess that's what they're going with. Afterwards, they all split the cash and Vince's family gets his cut and they all split up. Roman and Tej both get the same super fancy sports car. Brian and Mia are together, and Brian challenges Dom to a rematch race just for bragging rights. They start the race and that's the end of the movie. This movie is fun and wacky in a way that is pretty silly but not too silly, and I recommend it for adults who know the difference between good and bad behavior, but the characters are constantly stealing stuff in this movie, so it's not for kids.